Today we are going to be taking a quick look at the ScaleTrains HO scale rivet counter 48-foot Thrall dual hood coil car. The examples we'll show today are in the Burlington Northern scheme. I have two of these of different road numbers. I have one in the package. Getting closer, we can see in the packaging you have 3 coils on each side. These are actually weighted, so when placed in the car, they had correct weight. Here is an example out of the package. Inside the box, you also find a poly bag containing coil dividers, which you see I've installed right here. They are positionable. And spare bearing caps, which, if you are unfamiliar with the Rivet counter lineup, all the freight cars in the Rivet counter lineup feature rotating bearing caps, which is an amazing feature, especially when you weather these cars. It really stands out. You also have your product manual with exploded parts diagram inside, typical of the ScaleTrains literature. They also have the history of the car. So that's also nice. When you get yours, you can check it out and read all about it. Let's get these on the layout and take a look at these awesome cars and dive into some of the details on the underbody, the exterior, the hoods. We'll go over everything and then do some run-by videos of these.
Now, pulling these cars for this video will be the new ScaleTrains GP39E, which is a rebuilt GP30. This is part of the Rivet counter lineup. I did a video on this locomotive, so be sure to check that one out. Without further ado, let's pull the train forward. Love those strobe ditch lights. And we're going to mute that so we can talk about these cars. You can see the first car has the coil hoods removed. You can run these either way depending on how you want to model it. You can configure the coils how you need to based off prototype photos I always recommend. They always load them a certain way. And you can model them like this with the hoods on. Now, with these hoods on, you just have to keep in mind, these are very easy to come off. So when you're taking them in and out of the package, or even moving them around the layout, just be mindful of that. They can fall off. And with all the separately applied details, such as the grab irons and other equipment, you just don't want these to fall on the floor because they could be prone to breaking with all the fragile details. Be mindful taking these in and out of their package. These are some of the more fragile cars I have actually ever handled. There's just so much detail, piping and extra metal walkways, grab irons, just so much intricate details on these cars that we just should try to be careful with handling these ones. Luckily, people like me who have a layout, it's not a big issue. We're not taking stuff in and out of boxes. But for those of you who go to clubs and stuff all the time, these are definitely a car you're going to want to take extra caution in handling. Now, looking at the car, you can see this extra metal walkway runs around the whole thing. Very nicely done. All the grab irons separately applied. Equipment's all done nicely. See steps, cut lever. Really did a good job, and you can see with this car, you can actually see some underbody piping. And we'll get down and see a closer look at that. We're at more of a track level view now. You can really see the underbody detail on this car. Retainer valves, air reservoirs, piping, it's all there. And pay special attention when I move this. You see the roller bearing caps rotate. This is a feature that I've always come to love on these Rivet counter models. All this lettering, data, everything is, like I said, is all legible. It's all very sharply done. There's no fuzziness or anything out of focus. I do like the brake wheel detail. That is another thing to be mindful of. Very fragile, but it's a very nice looking piece. When I first took the coils off these cars, I was not expecting to have this kind of detail inside with the simulated wood having a black, grimy wash to it. This looks phenomenal. This really kind of is one of those things that sets Rivet counter line apart from so many other manufacturers, as the attention to detail like this. If any of you have seen my GP39 video, they're starting to weather the faces of these wheel sets now in locomotives in the line. I wish it would carry over on the freight cars because I absolutely love how it looks. But this is definitely a step in the right direction, stuff like this. We also get a chance to see the dividers, which I said were included in the bag and are also positionable.
We have the model placed upside down in a foam cradle, so we can examine the underbody of this car for its intricate detail. We'll start down here at the B end of the car. You see the handbrake wheel, which we talked about earlier, the air hose, the cut lever, and ScaleTrains as couplers. All the piping you fall down, you see your air reservoir, you see your retainer valves, everything is all here. Even if you cannot see it, ScaleTrains went through the effort to put it on this car. Let's do some run-bys with these cars before we wrap up this video. I'd like to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video of these cars. For those interested, at the time of this video, ScaleTrains still had these available on their website, as do several ScaleTrains dealers. Very nice cars. I don't have any complaints with them. The only thing I can say is be sure to handle these very carefully, as they are very fragile cars.